record this on my computer so I can test myself after and see how I did. I'm going to grade myself, but welcome tonight to the Gut Mind Workshop, and I've done this several times in the past couple of months, and I've had a couple of people reach out to me requesting that I do this again. And so I'm Jeff Berger. I am from Cape Coral, Florida. I am on my own holistic mental wellness journey. Some of you know that I'm trying to reverse my type 2 diabetes. Others of you do not know that I've gone through my own anxiety, depression, suicidal attempts, so forth and so on. And you'll get more of that along my journey. And I am really, you'll be, in fact, I announced this, I think it was last week. I am a co-author on a book called, the name of it is It's Okay Not to Be Okay. And the author, you know, is a friend of mine. And stay tuned for some more information in regards to that, because it's really a collaboration of stories of people going through their own journey. With that, this is going to be an informational session regarding science-backed, clinically trialed, and award-winning information that is provided by Amari Global, who is the holistic mental wellness company that focuses on the microbiome, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight. You know, results from the testing that they've done with their products, as well as third-party validation research, and also research on my own that I've been doing, and really appalled. You'll see some things later on of things that I've been finding out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, that all of us, well, I won't say all of us, but many of us have been consuming for many, many, many years. So I want you to sit back, relax, and just, you know, take this information in. And I have a slide deck. This slide deck that I'm presenting tonight, I will be sending it to you. I can send it to you via email, or I can send it to you through Facebook as a PDF attachment, and get what you can. Don't expect to learn everything, because I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. You're going to get a foundation about the microbiome, and I want you to then, we'll open it up to questions and answers later on. But before that, we'll talk about 3 different ways that you personally can get involved with the mental wellness revolution. Okay. So and today we're going to be talking about why mental wellness, the microbiome history, healthy gut, healthy mind, and things to know about mental wellness and some protocols. Okay, so let us get started here. So have you ever felt stressed, anxious, depressed, blah, or just down in the dumps? You can't sleep, no mental focus, energy, or clarity, or maybe you've just felt off. I think everybody has bouts with each of or some of the effects noted here. And if not, we've all definitely felt off at some time. And you know what? Well, you're not alone. So what I wanted to do here is provide you some, you know, some astonishing facts here. You know, the World Health Organization calls stress the health epidemic of the 21st century. We got 100 million American suffering from chronic pain. We got 800,000 people die of suicide each year. That will be equivalent to losing the entire population of South Dakota each year, which is amazing. 90% of the adolescents have a depressive order, and 350 million people globally are affected by depression each year. 24 million people are of age 12 and older received treatment for illicit drug and alcohol abuse last year. And we've got 30% of college students reported feeling depressed to the point that negatively impact their ability to function. And then 20% of the new mothers in the U.S. Postpartum depression. In my family, personally, there is obviously stress and chronic pain, but suicide, depressive disorder, depression, suicidal, alcohol, and drug abuse. And I just found out today, unfortunately, my twin nephews, their father is 27 years AANA clean, One of his twins just re-entered 6th time into drug rehab, and his twin brother is now on a suicide attempt, and we're trying to get him into a hospital. So everybody is impacted by this in some way, shape, or form. So why mental wellness? You know, while the medical world has found and has been really focused on treating physical issues, the world of psychology has been aimed at targeting emotional and social ills. So scientists believe the answers lie in a cross-section here of body, mind, and spirit. You know my mind, I am able body, and I am willing spirit, which is that conglomeration. You got that middle point of mental wellness. And science believes that it lies in this cross-section. And Amare basically intends to lead the space within this through right now their product line. In their product line, targets specific neurotransmitters in your gut. We'll get into more of that a little bit later on. But what I love about this company, we're mission-based. And our objective is really to get out into existing wellness centers and or create our own wellness centers to talk about more than supplementation, because we're new. It's about supplementation. It's about exercise. It's about nutrition. It's about stress management and a whole plethora of holistic options that are out there, and this is a huge space of continued research. Many of you know that this is, there's so many more people looking. They're looking for different answers because Western medicine is really not helping with that. So a little bit on the microbiome history here. 2,000 years ago, we got Hippocrates saying, all disease begins in the gut. All right, we got Theodore, an Australian pediatrician in the mid-1880s, talking about where he first observed the type of bacteria in the intestinal flora of healthy children and children affected by diarrheal disease. So it goes back to, seeing that back in the 1800s. And then Joshua, who was the first who suggested the concept of the human microbiome. Okay, and then we have in 2007, we've got the Microbiome Project. And in the last 5 years, over 90% of more of the 4,000 articles have been published in PubMed from the Microbiome Project. So the science is there, the clinical studies are there. This is really coming out. And I want to say with my research, every single disease, and I haven't gone through, every single disease, there's so many out there, but everyone that I have really, kind of researched out reverts back to the microbiome. Even my type 2 diabetes, I was just floored by, some of this autism and depression, anxiety, and Alzheimer's. And besides the gut issues that's going on, it goes right back to the gut biome. Next, we have Sean Talbot, an incredible man, passionate man. He is the Amare Global Chief Science Officer, the Master Formulator. He is a renowned doctor, researcher, nutritionist. He's been on Dr. Oz. He's been on so many talk shows and has traveled the world with his research. And then we've got Emerson Mayer, who is the author of the Mind-Gut Connection. And this is and I usually have it sitting right here next to me, and I don't. It's in my other room. But in any event, I've got that book. It's a great book to become educated on that. And he is also one of the 5 Amare Global Scientific Advisory Board members. And, we've got medical doctors, we've got licensed mental health counselors, acupuncturists, and a group of other medical professionals that are on our advisory board. So, which is really, really awesome. Okay, so let's get into some of the recent scientific discoveries here. Science is forever focused on the brain as the primary source to addressing mental wellness problems and answers. And many of you already know about the SSRIs, the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. and that address depression. Okay, so you get them on Paxil. Oops, Paxil doesn't work. Let's get them on Zoloft. Oops, Zoloft doesn't work. Well, let's get them on the next depression prescription. And then same thing with anxiety, Xanax. Oh, that doesn't work. Let them get them on Klonopin, Valium, Ativan, and they're just being inundated with all of these chemicals that are setting off their system. So, but is this the right solution? And we're absolutely finding, no, it's not the right solution. So science now tells us that we have our second brain. The second brain is our gut. And I'm sure many of you have seen this already that's out there, and some pretty amazing information. And this is where, we've got our little buddies, we got good buddies and bad buddies down in that gut area, which is the stomach and the gastrointestinal. And then we've got the vagus nerve, and then we have the brain. And this whole thing here is your gut-brain axis. Okay. So for those of you that don't know, 90% of the cells in your body are non-human. Oh boy, that's a little scary. Human genes are about 23,000. Bacterial genes are about 20 million. So the microbiome is an ecological community of trillions of bacteria living and cohabiting in your gut. And your second brain weighs about 3 to 4 pounds, which is approximately the same weight as your brain, and pretty amazing. So you got, 4 pounds up here and then 4 pounds down there, and it's like a balancing act from that. I just kind of found this yesterday. Intestinal flora affects your health. You've got the immunity, you've got vitamins, metabolism, obesity, inflammation, autism, all. These are just some of the things that are wrapped up in your gut. If you got bad gut bacteria, which is there through a series that I was watching on depression, anxiety, and dementia, the experts are saying 90% of the population has leaky gut. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's horrific, and you'll understand why later on. But you've got bad microbes, which leads to inflammation, and then poor quality of life, which is really sad. So the idea here is recent discoveries. How important is the microbiome? The communication with the brain to regulate height, weight, immune function, digestive function, mood, and overall mental health. And what we put in our bodies affects the microbiome. And Myra said earlier, one of her doctors said, oh, it doesn't matter what kind of food you eat. It doesn't affect your gut health and your overall health, which in turn affects our mind and other crucial bodily symptoms. And, we talk about imbalance, great feelings. We talk about out of balance, and feelings, fatigue and sad, tense, hungry, heavy, bloated, confused, stiff, sore. So the microbiome plays an important role in the way you feel mentally and physically. And here, well, this explains why we have those gut feelings. And in a few slides, I'll be talking about the mental wellness spectrum scale. But, we talk about gut feelings, love, fear, anger, etc. A peaceful feeling in your chest or your gut. You feel confident and happy, even when the decision doesn't seem rational. You feel anxiety feeling, which includes intuition. You create unsettled feelings. Your gut is your internal wisdom, if you will. And then you may, experience more lucid dreams because you've got those good gut feelings. So how do we communicate between the two brains there? So, we've got a plethora of communication mechanisms here, and it's a network of wires, which are nerves, and then chemical neurotransmitters or hormones, and then the cells, which is our immune system. And then we've got the brain axis system. We got the nervous system, the immune system, the gastrointestinal system, which is the gut, and it's a vast array of cellular and biochemical messages that communicates back and forth. And you'll see that in a few minutes. And so let's just break this down a little bit for some simplicity here. So we've got the two brains, and we've got the head brain, the stomach brain, and we've got the axis, which is the vagus nerve. And we talked a little bit about the number of microorganisms that are in our body versus the human cell. And you've got this garden down in your stomach, and it's just like weeds are the bad bacteria. And then you've got the flowers that are the good bacteria. And who's going to overtake? Are the flowers going to overtake, or are the weeds going to overtake? Same thing down below. Traditionally today, more humans have more bad bacteria than they do good bacteria. So the objective is to get rid of that and eliminate more of the bad bacteria. Not say get rid of all of it, because we do need to get people on board. We need to have the bad bacteria that co-lives with the good bacteria, but we need more good bacteria. Okay, so and this is where we come in with the good versus the bad, and this is where we have more of it. And then this is the good bacteria that we need to focus on, especially, and I'll talk a little bit about the mentobiotics later on. But what kind of products do you get that really focus on the specific neurotransmitters that lead you to a healthier gut? Okay, and it's all about having a healthy inflammatory balance, with the robust immune protection, and then optimal digestive process that will lead to a really well-balanced microbiome. Okay, so I talked about the communication between the gut and the brain, and the brain and the gut. It goes both ways. We talked a little bit about those gut feelings, the butterflies, love or anxious, and then we've got the sick to our stomach, fear or sadness. And then we've got the acute stress and suppress of the appetite, on short term. And while chronic stress can increase appetite and cravings for comfort foods, stress eating. I know that was one of my big things. When I was stressed out, I ate, and I've talked to some people who have experienced the same thing through their lives, and I've learned not to be able to just eat comfortably, have the right amount of food, and be healthy, which is awesome. And that's been my journey. The gut-brain axis, again, just more of a visual here. 60 to 90% of the neurotransmitters are created between the gut, which communicates through the vagus nerve up to the brain. And then we've got all the cells that are a part of that whole process, as well as the chemicals, the biochemicals that we actually form, in our gut. All right. So balance the mind and the lifestyle. All right. We need to, really make different choices. We need mind breaks and sleep breaks and exercise. So mind break is the stress management portion of it. Me going through my B3 program, Body, Brain, Biome, we teach about stress, supplementation, exercise, nutrition, stress management, and evaluation. And that's what has allowed me to lose 55 pounds right now. I've got between 8 and 10 more to lose. It's allowed me to, be able to get my sugar levels down and my weight down as well. But then the next phase is getting off my meds. Sleeping, huge component. If you're not sleeping well, you're not in that REM, restful sleep. This is where your body rejuvenates and really produces all the good chemicals. And then movement. Movement is important. So you're getting activity with the heart, the muscles, so forth and so on. And then we've got the good nutrition here. And the nutrition basically is going towards the probiotics, the prebiotics, and the phytobiotics. And with that, we've got the probiotics, which basically, are for the good bacteria. And, you're looking at the, the flourishing more of the good bacteria in your gut with fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, kimchi, so forth and so on. The prebiotics, which basically are helping you with the fibers and the carbohydrates through, different, like banana, green leafy vegetables, asparagus, and the right supplementation. And then the phytobiotics, which, the flavonoids and, help support the good bacteria, which is really important. So that is the mindful with the lifestyle and the balance of the gut nutrition. Learning all of this through the Project B3, which has been amazing, really learning what types of food to eat and really get your microbiome in a really good balanced state. So I talked a little bit earlier about the mental wellness spectrum, and here we have, there's 3 things you should know about the mental wellness spectrum. So first of all, how you feel is just in your head. It's also in your gut. And we talked about it's not in your head, but it's also more so in your gut, our second brain, which includes the microbiome and plays a major role in mental wellness, okay? You can now do something naturally to improve your mental wellness. So today, people, many people, and I'm going to say a huge majority of people, especially the baby boomers, they're going through depression, their anxiety. Who don't you know that has depression, anxiety, diabetes, obesity, heart disease, autoimmune diseases, arthritis, fibromyalgia? All of those things are diseased states, okay? And then pretty much the norm today for those of us who are baby boomers, we get to that point in our age where, yeah, I'm tired, there's tension, I'm sad, brain fog, a lot of these things we think are attributed, that's communicated to us, well, you're getting old. That's just part of getting old, excuse me, but it's BS. It's total BS. And why not be optimized? Why not be energetic? Why not, be happy and sharp? And all of these optimized options here, creative and clear skin and strong and lean and flexible, rarely sick. I'm down here in Florida and all of my neighbors are sick. And I've been down here I'm in my the middle of my 2nd year, and the only issue that I've had in a year and a half has been I had a kidney stone attack. I haven't had a cold, I haven't had flu, I haven't had any of that stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like, okay, I'm wondering why you're sick. And so it's amazing, but it's attributed to big pharma, the food industry. Monsanto is a huge factor in this with the Roundup and the glyphosate. And, I found this a couple of days ago, not this here, but I'm talking about Monsanto and Roundup has been really something I've been communicating with for about 2.5 to 3 months now. But my husband and I, well, really my husband, went through the pantry, pulled all of these food items out. Campbell's in Crisco and Gold and Heinz and Hershey and Lipton and French's. All of these foods are owned by Monsanto. They own these companies. There is a list like a mile long, Bisquick and Best Foods, Betty Crocker, Carnation, Coca-Cola, Duncan Hines, Famous Amos, Lay's, some Hungry Jack, and what was Lean Cuisine. I said Lipton, Butterworth, Ocean Spray. I mean, the list goes on and on. I'll be posting this later on, probably next week. But all of these are impacted by the Roundup, which is filled with glyphosate, which is an herbicide that kills insects. I'm like, oh my God, All this is being thrown out. I don't even want to donate it to anybody. So what foods are you eating? I'm on a, those of us who are wellness partners are really on a mission to really educate people and really look at what they're taking. And it's just pretty amazing. So with that, rigorous product standards, we come with our rigorous product standards of ancient wisdom, a traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda. We've got modern technology innovations where we apply the newest neuroimmunology and science in doing research in regards to what we've got going on with Amari, analytical verification, research, evidence, and ethical sourcing. So I wanted to talk about our flagship product here, which is the fundamentals. And the fundamentals, as I said earlier, our products are science-backed, clinically trialed, and plant-based and award-winning. We won the NutriAward 2018 for Best Finished Product. This is a pack of 3 products for the Mentabiotics for the gut, Mentafocus for the brain, and the Mentasic for the vagus nerve, making that highway cleared up so the communication will go back and forth. And this is part of our product line that shows the efficacy, and their proprietary ingredients and technologies are top of the line. And in all of our documentation for each product, we show what, we increase the good bacteria in the gut. Okay, these are important bacteria for good bacteria to help that gut microbiota, as well as the connection to the brain. But here are the incredible benefits: lowering tension, lowering depression, lowering anger, lowering fatigue, lowering confusion, and increasing vigor. Okay, and we talk about the different platforms of going from good to better to best. And this will be in the slide deck for you to be able to get out there and really look at what the benefits are, because each of our product does focus on specific. And for those that biology, you've got the microorganism at the top level, which is the genome, and then we've got the species. There's multiple species in that genome, and then each of those species have strains. We're hitting specific strains within the species of the genome to hit the specific neurotransmitter to open that up and clean the gut and aid in mental health healing. Okay, so with that, we are the world's first and only mentabiotics that has a gut, that focuses on specific specific gut bacteria. And our products are fully guaranteed and fully refund. If you don't think that they work, you've got customers have up to a year to return them. And this is not like taking a medication where you're going to get less pain in 20 minutes by taking a Vicodin or a Percocet. Those of you who've been living with leaky gut for years, 20, 30, 40 years, it's going to take time to clean that up and get rid of the bad bacteria, get rid of, heal that inflammation, so forth and so on. So, that is the evaluation. So I wanted to just share, a couple of the testimonials here. Ashley here is now that, she's gone through her own troubles, and she can now say 100% of these products have worked for her, in regards to many of the, the health issues that she has gone through. And then we have Katie here who, had 2 sons, and she's dealt with anxiety, depression, one of her sons with ADHD, as well as autism. Unfortunately, she lost her second son, and there's so many testimonials of people over the last year and a half who have had some incredible results. And this young lady, has, she is autistic, has had seizures, you know, getting this plant-based product. She's now winning awards, and she's voted the most outgoing in her class, and she's getting really great recommendations, which is really, really awesome. So I talked earlier about 3 ways of getting involved. You know, you can help spread the word with the mental wellness, and you know, by just helping us spread the word. I'll talk about that in a minute. For those of you who feel that you are, you know, going through your own journey and looking for something more holistic, plant-based through anxiety, depression, whether, or if you're, you know, feel that you've got leaky gut or irritable bowel syndrome, so forth and so on, you want to look at something new that might be something that might fit your needs, great. Or, you know, you can become a wellness partner and help those of us who are humanitarian entrepreneurs who are spreading the word, and we're really passionate about the mission of this company. So how do we spread the word? Okay, mental wellness is the new physical health. What we're doing is on social media. You're spreading the word on social media. We're sharing links. The microbiome is, how does it impact Parkinson's disease? How does it impact autism? How does it impact leaky gut? How does it impact diabetes? All of that is out there through the Microbiome Project, through the science research. We're sharing people are commenting about their health, and they wish they had something else, and it's, oh, I might have something for you. And we share information basically through private message for the most part. If something, we don't want to expose people to some of their, you know, things that they're going through, you know, on Facebook Live, through, not live, but, you know, on public forum there, we'll private message them saying, hey, I saw your note, and, you know, if you want to, let's have a talk. What do you got going on? I might have something for you. Or just sharing it with your family and friends. Hey, you know, I came across and was introduced to this company that's got this plant-based product line. Would you be open to getting some information? You've been complaining about your stomach, you've been complaining about depression, anxiety, stress, you know, and you're on pharmaceuticals and they're not helping you. Maybe something else will, okay? Next, we have, we've got a June promotion going on. It's free enrollment, whether you're coming on board as a customer or a wellness partner. And we've got free enrollment with for the customers here, and there's a June promotion. And you're also going to get you know, the free membership and free product credit. You know, we accumulate product points, and as you accumulate free product points, you do get you know, that going towards free product that you can get for free, okay, which is pretty awesome. And then we've got a wellness partner. Wellness partner is basically those of you who, you know, want to generate, you know, another stream of income, whatever you want to do from that, whether it's a small effort, a medium effort, or a large effort, totally up to you. But, you know, there are a lot of different promotions this month for coming on board. And helping those of us who I said earlier are humanitarian entrepreneurs. So that kind of rounds up my presentation, which brings us up to the point where we can, I'm going to open it up to some Q&A, but I want to leave you with one last point here. You know, hashtag, you know what hashtags are, and hashtag poop matters, okay? So I'm going to unmute all of you. And hopefully I can unmute all of you here. So I'm trying to unmute you guys. So let's do this. Okay, unmute, unmute, unmute. And I'm going to ask you to share your thing here, your video. And I am going to basically stop. There we go.